Going on Coaching Success Radio. Today, another future success story. Now, here's what's so cool about this. Reeta has been doing coaching for a very long time in the corporate world. And she's been coaching. Part of her organization was having her on as a coach, helping people throughout the organization. And one of the challenges of that is that you're kind of at the mercy of the company, right? You're at the mercy of everybody in there. You don't get to choose your own clients. You have to work with the people who are there, whether they want to be coached or not. So she had quite a bit of a challenge dealing with people who just didn't want to have the coaching, weren't motivated, didn't believe in the process. And I'll tell you, that's got to be one of the toughest things as a coach, especially if you're forced into that situation. And that's the beauty of having your own business, is you can pick and choose your clients, which is why you want to be super selective anyway with who you work with, because it will just wipe you out to be working with people who don't give you energy and don't feed your soul and don't really give you a motivation to help them. I mean, it's really hard to be on somebody's side and working and coaching and pushing them through when they are digging their heels in the ground and just don't want any of it, right? I mean, if they're receptive and they're just not making progress, that's one thing. But if they don't want the coaching, they don't want they aren't, motivated, they don't want to move forward, they don't want the process, they don't believe in the process, they don't like you, they don't trust you, there is a challenge with that. So in some of what she was doing, it was just trying to overcome that little bit. But her passion for coaching never died off. And so she ended up starting her own coaching business. She's in the very early stages of her own company. But what I love about her story is that she's willing to try, willing to go out on her own, knowing she has this gift that she wants to share with the world, and is putting behind her the challenges that she had in the past and moving forward with great optimism.
As I build my coaching business, I want to know how to effectively serve clients and make more money doing it. This podcast will pull back the curtain to reveal exactly how successful coaches are building their empires. Join me as I engage with top coaches from all over the world to discover their secrets. No theatrics and no theory, just real life strategy. My name is William Winterton, and this is Coaching Success Radio.
Hello, welcome back to the show. William Winterton here, and today I am really excited about our guest today. She is from Melbourne, Australia. She is a career and life transition coach, and she has a powerful story to tell us about where she's at right now and where she's planning to take her business in the very soon future. This is Reeta Dabydoyal. Reeta, how are you?
Excellent. Awesome. How are you, William?
I am so well. I'm doing so well. I am excited and just really interested in knowing, first of all, you're in Australia, so you're enjoying the nice, cool, wintry season. And I don't know, that's a very foreign thing even for me in Arizona. Even during the winter, it doesn't really get anything here. So tell me a little bit about, are you from Australia? You've been there your whole life?
Yes. I've been there for 20 years.
Okay.
Actually, at the moment, I'm in Melbourne. I come from Melbourne. It's around probably 8-9 degrees at the moment.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Celsius, centigrade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So a little chilly, a little more so than here in the United States and Arizona, for sure.
You're in the summer at the moment.
So tell me, I'm super excited. You were talking just before we got on, and we were chatting a little bit about what you do and who you serve and your coaching. So before we get into all that about your coaching, I want to know just a little bit about you and what your background is, and kind of what you're doing and where your life was at before you decided to make this jump into becoming a life transition coach.
I've been in the employment services, in 2008. When my role was made redundant, I was working at the Melbourne International Airport. When at that time I needed a change in my life. I needed something to step in, something different. That's when I started doing employment services industry, which gave me the opportunity to work with many disadvantaged clients, people returning to work, going through changes in their life. And that working with these type of people really impressed me, because I thought I was making a difference in someone's life. Because all these clients, before they could even focus, they had other issues that could work with them. So I did have a couple of changing career, because I've specialized in career over the past 10 years. I ended up doing work cover, people with workplace injury in 2012. So They are the type of clients who are undergoing stress, or they're not happy in the workplace, or have been, been in employment. For example, nurse has been there over the past 20 years, has been assaulted by a patient, or any paramedics, anyone going through that changes. They're quite complicated cases. I loved what I did. I loved what I do because it's about working with their barriers. They all have psychological issues, helping those people. And it was about coaching. It was all coaching people. But at that time, I felt I needed some tools. I needed to help these people. I needed to give them something that will help them start moving from that victim state to a state of empowerment. That's when I did neuro-linguistic programming. I did neuroscience in 2015, and I studied life coaching at that time. But having done that, there was a part of me which felt I really wanted to get 100% in coaching. But because I loved what I did, I wouldn't leave my job. I wouldn't go. I stayed stuck there for some moment. There was a part of me which I did love, but I felt something was missing because not all of them wanted help. And I wanted clients who would come to me and say, yes, I want to make that change. Because those clients would come to me because they were forced to, they had no other choice. So you're working with those who would be motivated. And some of them had no motivation at all. So I wanted that, but it took me like a couple of times. I've made that decision. What do I do? Should I reduce my hours? What do I do? I was scared. I couldn't leave from that employee all of a sudden say, okay, I'm a life coach. I'm running my own practice. I wouldn't do that. It took me 2016, when we don't want to see, you create an intention and we're not doing that. I said, okay, I'll get my business started. I did my business card, and 3 weeks after the blue, my position was made redundant. How would you? And I thought, what on earth just happened? Without any clue, nothing. My position was made redundant. And from here, and I said, okay, what do I do now? I still wanted that safety. So I went up in 2017. I got another job full time because I wanted the comfort and the safety. But guess what? I turned in a company where everything was the opposite what I used to do. It was the same role, which I loved in the past, but this one was totally different, a different culture, management, everything. I stayed there for a couple of months and I said, no way, because that is giving me sign. What do I do from here? And I decided, no way, I'd rather work for myself. That was the way how I ended up running my own practice, because I had to be in pain and suffering to make that decision, because I wouldn't go. I wouldn't even, because I wanted the comfort, because I don't have any safety. And transiting from an employee to an employer mindset, you needed that. And I couldn't do it unless the universe said, okay, there we go. We give you another job. You want to do another job? That's it for you. But then I was expecting what I used to do, have the flexibility. Everything was not the same. It's a different leadership. It's a different workplace culture. Everything was different. I was very unhappy and miserable. That point where I realized when people come to me and talk about miserable, being hated in the work, I didn't, you have to experience that to hear their story. So that was my story. And that's how I ended up running my own practice. And I said, okay, now I will be doing mine. And it has initially started slowly. But then I had to focus, it's about changing lives, because this is what I loved. This is I've always loved, because I've been doing that for 10 years. And I felt it's very rewarding. I'm very passionate when I'm changing someone's life. And I wanted to do that, have that human-to-human connection, and someone who wanted me to give them that support, that empowerment. When they look back, they've achieved something. They can live their life of their dreams.
And one of the things you said in there was real interesting. And I just want to point out, just because I want to make sure everybody watching and listening picked up on it. But when you were working with your organization and you were coaching and working and helping, there were people in there who were eager to get coaching and willing to be and were receptive to the idea. And then there were people in there who just did it because they didn't have any other choice, and they kind of went along with it. But you have a pond of people that you can serve, but not everybody is going to be an ideal client for you and an ideal fit. And what you're looking for is to try and build your own pond, your own ocean of people who are aligned exactly with the type of personality that you feel you can best serve. And you can only get that by creating your own business and really going the direction that you want to set up and prepare for yourself. So that, did I take the way, is that right? Did I get that, what you had said there?
Yes, correct. Because I'm truly grateful for the client I did get. But remember, I was over there as doing career coaching, but then it wasn't totally career coaching because I wasn't being paid for what I was meant to be paying as a coach, because all the consultants didn't have additional qualification. On top of that, I'm neuro NLP trained as well. So these clients were loving when I'm giving that service because it's over servicing them. But then I was doing it purely on a human as a coach and giving them that as for value. I was giving more value, but in terms of me, my value, my self-esteem, my self-worth, I was over giving. But everyone in the same boat, like any other consultant who are working, we all paid the same.
Right.
And they wouldn't be able to give that service what I'm doing, but I was getting results and outcome, like you said. And then picking my niche of client because they are being forced by the government, by the referral party to see me. Some would be there. They had a different mindset. Their mindset is very different. For them, it's just being forced to come. And so they're very angry, being in a more sort of a very victim mode. So it takes lots of time to build that relation. Why would you want to work with the wrong client? So you have to source your ideal client who have that motivation, and we are connected. We are connected, and I'm here to support that. You can't coach someone who's not coachable.
Right. And especially whenever you are being forced to coach somebody
Yes.
and forced to have a relationship,
Yes.
it's not a surface level relationship when you're a coach either. This is really, you have to get in and have some depth. And if you're with somebody who does not want that and
Yes.
is not receptive to that, that is a very difficult and challenging situation. And I can't even imagine putting myself in that spot where you were, because that's incredibly tough.
Yes.
Coaching itself can be a challenge enough anyway, and then you start putting into the mix somebody in groups that don't work together. When did you start officially going on your own in your business?
I started last year.
So and then getting that started, what were some of the things that you felt were some of the more challenging and pressing parts of building your business from scratch?
Well, I had no way. I had no direction. Okay, it's great. I've decided to start my own practice, but from here, where to? What to do? I've been turning in circle. 3 months is gone. 4 months is gone. What I'm doing, and I just, registering because I'm a professional member of the Career Development Association of Australia. So I registered, built my profile, updated my LinkedIn. But I was doing something which I didn't know what to do. So then I appointed a business coach last year who started teaching me content writing. You don't need a website. I started learning content writing and started using Facebook groups and started promoting my services to get myself, because it's still, to get that online presence. So you can be as good as you've been, how many years of experience. But when no one knows you, no one knows you. So
right.
you'll fail to pick on who are the clients, where are my ideal clients. And this is something, it's still work in progress, because I've worked with so many clients with so many barriers and a broad range of clients. So it's too broad that at some point in time I will have to narrow. But the great thing is I can work with any client, but it hasn't been an easy journey. I think all coaches will go through the same path. We start small and then slowly you build your networking, going there, introducing yourself, attending business seminars, participating there, who you are. I've been doing that, and through mouth of referrals, past clients. This is how it's been working with. Yeah.
Right. And I think you're speaking to a lot of other coaches who are listening to this show as well, who are in that same spot and struggling with. And I know you and I had a real brief conversation before the interview, was just talking because I'm just going to be honest with the audience that you were a little nervous, like, I don't know if I'm the right fit. But here's the thing is, everybody's going through that. And everybody, even people who have a successful business, and they're, successful defined in your own way, right? But if you are able to make sufficient money or have a lot of free time in this, it's still a struggle. It's a constantly evolving way to market, and it's a constantly evolving process. Just before our conversation, before we started the podcast, you talked a little bit about, first of all, I'd asked if you were a life coach, and you kind of said, no, I don't like that term. Would you speak
Yes.
to that for just a minute? Why does that, what's the trigger there?
Look, life coach is very general. Sometimes people doesn't know what's a life coach. And I absolutely don't like that title. I don't like that purely for the reason it's too vague. It's too vague. And the fact that I mainly work with people going through transition. And I want to have that title. With transition, it could be in your career or your personal life. And most of the people I've worked had more issues with empowering themselves or, doubting themselves. With inner stories of their life they've gone through and lack of confidence. And I think that's where transition, when people go, regardless, anyone, we all go through that transition. We all go through that journey. We have to. There's no way through that.
Right.
We will have to go through that. But having gone through transition myself in terms of my career, my professional life, I've changed career many times and I've been made redundant and I know the pain people go through that. I understand their pain as well because I worked as a career professional and most of the people that has come to me is going through changes in their career. Either they've been made redundant or they want a new direction. Now in their life, it has impact on their life as well. That will impact their life as well. Sometimes they may have lost someone. I've lost my dad just last year. A couple of years ago, my sister passed away at a very young age. I've lost that. I've had changes in my life. I've gone through personal changes in my life as well. So I know when you go through that, the pain, the condition, and people can stay stuck there for the rest of their life if you don't take action, if you don't do anything. So that's where I normally would empower people. I want them to get out of that stuck mode because there's a lesson for you, because your adversity is teaching you. It's a growth for opportunity. When there's a movie which I watched, Eat, Pray and Love, where Julia Roberts says, ruin is a gift for transformation. We talk about ruin is a gift for transformation. And I think Dr. Wayne Dyer as well said, in your darkest moment, it's how you look at things, how you can change adversity into opportunity. And most of my clients has gone through that challenge.
Got it.
And for me, I've turned them around only if you're ready to make that change. Because it's up to you. I'm the coach, yes, I will guide you through, but end of the day, it's up to us. What do we want to do with that situation? Do we stay there and overreact the whole life and complain, or be accountable, be, responsible 100% what is happening in our life? We take responsibility for that and change it. You can change things. You can shift things. It's only our own decision. And that's what I've done through. I've gone through that myself.
I'm excited to see where you're at in a year or two and just see how much you've grown and how much you've really expanded and have done. What would you like to do? Let's say in 2 or 3 years from now, where do you want to be with this?
Look, I want to grow. I wanted to go on a path where teaching people, doing workshops, live stages, talking, empowering people. If we all can change the world, how we think, probably we can live in a different world of, peaceful, a different way of, because we are the creator of what we create in our reality. And it's about impacting many lives. And I think that's what my legacy is, to be able to transform and pass on my message to all the people on earth and change that, do something that I would be remembered.
I think that's a fantastic idea. Yeah, Reeta, thank you so much again for jumping on the call today. And it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much, because that was giving me that opportunity. But likewise, it was lovely talking to you as well.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. New episodes are coming out every few days, including lots of conversations with massively successful coaches sharing their secrets with you. So be sure to subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel so that you don't miss out. And if you're looking for a way to start making serious money from your coaching, you need to check out my free training. It's at williamwinterton.com. I lay out the step-by-step on how to start making 5 figures a month in the next 60 days. Check it out, williamwinterton.com. I'll see you next time.